craft beer. There's a new surging alcohol trend in the state, and New Hope could be next. We're talking about microdistilleries. This next week, New Hope's Planning Commission will consider a proposal from a Maple Grove company to open a microdistillery and a cocktail room at this space at 42nd Avenue North. It's the former location of the Mountain Mud Coffee Shop. The tank used for distilling would only be about the size of the water heater in your home, and the product would be served in mixed drinks in a cocktail room. This would be the first cocktail room with a microdistillery in the Northwest Metro. However, it might not be the last. Distilleries and microdistilleries are on the rise in the state. You might be familiar with Scolvin in Brooklyn Park, which is the only other distillery in our area. It does not have a cocktail room, but they make vodka, rum, and bourbon on site, which are sold throughout the state. There are around 30 distilleries in Minnesota. A company with operations in Golden Valley is moving ahead with layoffs. Honeywell plans to eliminate 90 positions starting in February. It's a part of a move to close the Golden Valley Aerospace division because its lease was set to expire. Honeywell still has a much larger aerospace facility in Ohio. According to the company, Honeywell Aerospace products and services are found on virtually every commercial, defense, and space aircraft in the world. A Honeywell spokesperson says the number of workers impacted will be fewer than 90 since some have already left the company. The remaining workers will be able to apply for other positions within Honeywell. Meanwhile, one of the country's largest for-profit housing developers with properties around the northwest suburbs plans to relocate from its Plymouth headquarters. Dominium will move to Minnetonka, taking space that used to be occupied by Syngenta Seed Company. The company says it outgrew its Plymouth location. Dominium has drawn a lot of attention locally. It's currently planning a housing development at the former Four Seasons Mall site in Plymouth. The company also recently came under fire for its management of the Huntington Place apartments in Brooklyn Park. It is in the process of selling that property. City officials in Robbinsdale are hoping that a new grant will help get Crystal Lake off of the state's list of impaired waters.
For many residents, they know Crystal Lake has kind of been less than desirable lake for a while, full of algae, a little smelly in the summer, not a lot of fish, a lot of carp, I guess, not a lot of sport fish.
The Shingle Creek Watershed Management Commission just received a grant worth $216,000 from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency to help treat Crystal Lake's water quality. The watershed will also kick in an additional $154,000. Crystal Lake has been on the state's impaired waters list since 2002 for excessive nutrients. In the next few years, the watershed plans to use the money to reduce the number of carp in the lake and treat the water with a chemical called alum to help the phosphorus in Crystal Lake settle at the bottom.
Hydrologic features, it's just basically gets all this water from the city and then it has nowhere to go, and so I think this is a really great opportunity to clean this lake up from this legacy phosphorus and from the invasive fish species we have there that are exacerbating an underlying problem, and so we can get rid of that smelly algae that comes every year and really enjoy our lake.
Work will begin later this year to determine where all of the carp congregate before the removal process begins. The new year has just begun, but time is running out to see some interesting exhibits down at the Hopkins Center for the Arts. Neil Persley has a sneak peek in today's Weekend Showcase.
When I saw the pieces by Philip Noyed hanging in the lobby of the Hopkins Center for the Arts, I was immediately interested.
They're light box assemblage. The work originates actually with paintings that he's done that he then photographs. He was influenced by taking photographs from the window of a train on a trip to Europe, and that sweeping kind of motion blur.
When Noyed originally began doing the lighted pieces, he used fluorescent tubes to backlight the images. Now LED lights are the order of the day.
And they're really stunning at night when they light up, but they're equally exciting and colorful during the day.
Also by Noyed are a couple of kinetic suspended works equally as engaging.
One of them is acrylic with dichroic film attached, and so the color is constantly changing.
On a bright sunny winter afternoon, the colors it throws are mesmerizing. Walking upstairs, I could not help but stop and look at the photography by Vincent Dezzuti.
He composites them together in the computer in Photoshop and whatnot, which creates, for me, it's a very pleasing sense of disequilibrium or mystery.
Indeed, the images are so well done that they beg you to continue their inspection.
It's very apparent if you engage with him that he's done some manipulation. It's not trickery for the sake of trickery.
These exhibits will come down Sunday, January 5th, so come by this weekend if you have the chance. For Weekend Showcase in Hopkins, Neil Persley, CCX News.
About 30 teenagers are participating in a unique fundraiser thanks to a Brooklyn Park business and a local service organization. Roastery 7 Artisan Coffee teamed up with the Rotary Club of Crystal, New Hope, and Robbinsdale to help teens from Treehouse, a nonprofit that works to help youth find support and belonging. The teens packed, sold, and delivered coffee to fund a 3-day trip to Wisconsin next month. The goal for each teen was to sell at least 12 bags of coffee.
It challenges them. It's sometimes hard for a lot of our teens to go up to people like teachers and other administrators at their school and ask if they want to buy coffee, but it gives them the opportunity to connect more with community members, to own a process from the beginning to the end.
And this year, the teens sold about $5,800 worth of coffee, which is significantly more than the $3,600 they sold back in 2016. Of course, for more stories like this one, go check out our website, ccxmedia.org.
The Wayzata boys basketball team beat a good Cretin-Derham Hall squad last week to earn their first win of the season. Trojans faced another tough team Thursday as they played host to 8th-ranked Eastridge. Early first half, the Raptors in transition. Drew Adams back to Kendall Blue for an open three-pointer, and it's 10-2 Eastridge. Blue scores 21 points in the game. Wisconsin signee Ben Carlson steps in for the steal for Eastridge and takes it back the other way for a dunk, and it's 17-5 Raptors. Camden Heide with a quick release three here for the Trojans. He hits it and is fouled. It's a 4-point play. Heide leads Wayzata in scoring with 17 points. Cardi Berkey then steps up and hits a three for Wayzata. But the Trojans trail big at halftime, 41-24. Berkey finishes the game with 8 points. Second half, Cody Williams will kick the pass out to Drew Birkland for three. But the Trojans never get closer than 11 points, and Eastridge wins at 84-61. After winning their first 6 games, the Maple Grove boys hockey team has found the going a little tougher as of late. The Crimson faced a rival in the key game in the Northwest Suburban Conference and for section seeding as they took the ice at Blaine's Fogarty Arena. First period, great burst of speed by Blaine's Jack Ryman around the defenseman. He shoots and scores. Less than a minute later, Cole Hansen breaks in, and that's the backhander for a 2-0 Bengals lead. Second period, Maple Grove's William Peeler racing for the loose puck, but it's poked away by Blaine goalie Ryan Wallen. Third period, another shot on net for the Crimson. It's stopped by Wallen. The rebound deflects wide. Nice patience by Blaine's Carson Richards, and he slides the pass. Hunter Hansen gets the goal. Maple Grove falls 4-1 to the Bengals. It's their third loss in their past 5 games. In girls hockey, Champlin Park-Coon Rapids had won 4 of its past 5 games coming into Thursday night. They faced a northern team that's on a hot streak of its own. First period of the Bluebirds game with Cloquet-Esko-Carlton. Abby Ness passes to Delaney Johnson, who breaks in alone and scores. It's a good goal, and CPCR leads it 1-0. After Cloquet ties it, the Bluebirds get one in the final minute of the period. Johnson, a couple of nice moves on her way to the net, scores a pretty goal, and it's 2-1. Champlin Park after one. Second period, and the Lumberjacks net the lone goal. Kiana Bender gets behind the defense, goes in to score, ties the game at 2. Third period, a nice passing play by Cloquet, Bender to Taylor Nelson, back to Bender for a goal. That makes it a 3-2 game. Lumberjacks add one more on the power play. Cloquet wins its 11th straight game, 4-2 the final. One of the best high school gymnastics meets of the season comes to Brooklyn Park again on Saturday. Park Center hosts the annual MGGOA meet sponsored by the State Gymnastics Judges Association. Some of the state's top teams will be there, and 5 local teams are competing: Breck, Champlin Park, Maple Grove, Osseo, and host Park Center. Competition in this Capital Cup format event begins at 11:15 a.m. Tickets are available at the door. Local boys swimming teams had a little break from competition over the holidays, but not from workouts. Champlin Park hosted a District 11 rival Thursday. Rebels fired up for their meet at home at Jackson Middle School against Andover. After a Huskies win in the 200 medley relay, they're off in the 200 freestyle. Champlin Park's Donovan Durand races to the win by a comfortable margin. Durand's winning time 1 minute 53 seconds. Next up, it's the 200 IM and an impressive showing for Andover's Noah Rabb. He wins the race easily in a time of 2 minutes 2.21 seconds. That's a new pool record at Jackson. In the 50 freestyle, Andover's Asher McPherson pulls away from the field to win in 22.84 seconds. He later set a pool record in the 100 breaststroke. Andover wins the meet over the Rebels 95-86. Live boys basketball Friday night on CCX. Hopkins at Champlin Park.